Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I am Gabrielle with Gabrielle Coaching Group. We are going through our discussion on Brene Brown's work of men, women, and worthiness. Today, I want to go more into showing empathy, especially when there is no shared experience with that situation that you are showing empathy to. And Brene Brown has this experience where she went to talk to a group of rape survivors. And at the beginning of the meeting, they go around and they say their name and then they say the name of their abuser. And when it came time for Brene Brown to say her name and the name of her abuser, she said, well, I can't do that. That's not my story. I have never been raped. So I don't have an abuser to name and I can't engage in this experience. What the head of the group said really changed her mind about showing empathy without shared experiences. The head said, but that's not true. You write about shame. You write about feeling unworthy, not good enough. And you remember the names of the people who gave you those feelings. Do you remember whoever said something or did something that helped you feel shame, that helped you feel not worthy? And so in a sense, that's why we brought you here. So you can go through this with us. And that's her explanation about how you can show empathy even when you don't have a shared experience, or your experience is not at the same level as others. And I'll give one example that really had me researching this. Was a friend of mine who lost a 90-year-old grandparent. And, she was the closest to this grandparent, was at his bedside when he passed on. It was just emotional. And even though this grandpa had a great life, she missed him. And so she goes to a grief support group. And once everyone starts sharing her story, she starts seeing how her story seems to pale in comparison. So, for example, she said there were people who lost their child or spouse to childbirth. There were some people who just lost their children or spouses to accidents, suicides. There were things that by our standards were more severe to her situation of an old, loved grandfather. So she felt that because she had decades of experience of love with this grandparent, that her situation paled in comparison to these other people. But the key to this is that we have to connect to the emotions you're feeling, not necessarily the experience you're feeling. It is very difficult to pull from the same experience of a death or a rape or some other tragedy that happens. But if I ask you, have you ever felt shame? Have you ever felt joy? Have you ever felt anger? Have you ever felt nervousness? Have you ever felt sorrow? A lot of us have felt all these feelings. And so we have to look at it in the terms of a basket that all of us are carrying. We have different shapes. We have different sizes of our baskets. But we all carry the basket. And so it is from this basket that perhaps we can pull out richness to pour on our neighbors and our friends and people around us that are going through things, so that we can give that empathy, that truly rich empathy out of the same basket. It is, I'm with you and I care about you. I may not have the right words to say, but I'm feeling this pain with you. So I hope that is useful. I hope you can use that somewhere whenever you run into a situation where someone is going through a very difficult time. Just remember, we have different shapes and sizes of baskets, but we all have a basket of empathy that we can give out. I'm Gabrielle with Gabrielle Coaching Group. Please link or subscribe if you like our content so that we can get this to as many people as needed.